So now let's get on into the shaders, right? The materials and stuff like that. So we got our hierarchy, right? And we're just gonna call this old grumpy man rig, right? And this could be the animation one, right? So let's just add a comment. I like to just edit comment. And we're gonna call this animated. No shaders, no material, no nothing, right? So right beside it, we're gonna work on doing the look there, right? So let's copy this over. Old grumpy man rig, right? Let's go inside. We can reset all the changes of the pose back to 0, right? Just to get it back in T-pose. Let's go out. Let's drop a null down just so we can keep the hierarchy good. So we're gonna call this old grumpy man. And we're gonna say out instead of just old grumpy man. So we're gonna say out old grumpy man, right? So we still have our same hierarchy, right? Our old grumpy man. Still got everything good. All right. We're gonna drop down a material. We got two ways, right? We have the material library, right? And then we have a quick surface material. All right. I'm gonna collapse that a little. I'm gonna show you guys two different workflows, which is both of them come in handy for different scenarios. And when we want to do stuff quick and not too like just too much of having to build our own shaders, I like to use the quick surface material and kind of build off that. And we may even use like cops. We can dive into cops and add like different textures and different shapes and patterns to different things, right? Then we also have the material library where we can dive inside and create our own Calmer Material X shader, right? So we're gonna do both approaches to get the same look. So we're gonna start off with the material library, right? We're gonna plug that in. We're gonna target the plus signs if we hit our properties. We notice that we don't see none into our hierarchy yet. So the first thing I like to do is I'll always put my my materials for whatever asset it is inside of the correct hierarchy. So we're gonna go to material path prefix and do forward slash sorry, assets, right? Assets slash chart. And then we got name of the rig. We got old grumpy. Make sure the naming is the same as the original old grumpy man. And then we have materials, right? So we can dive inside and we can hit our tab and start by dropping down a Calmer material builder. All right, let's rename it to, let's just say body. All right, let's dive inside and you'll see we have the material standard shader, the material displacement and material properties. And we have a little input subnet, which is, you can ignore this, right? First thing we want to do, if we have the material that's designed like in a separate program like Adobe Substance Painter or Blender or whatever you designed your materials in, right? You can start by dropping down a Image Texture MTX image, right? If we hit P, go to properties. The file name, we want to find the file that's on disk. So let's go to the character. Let's go to the old Grumpy Man material files, and we're going to select the diffuse, right? Now, if you're using UDMs, I'll show you guys a UDM approach in a separate video. But right now, we're just doing basic, PNG files or EXR or JPEG, right? So we got our file name in. Let's connect the output to the base color, right? If you hit this little arrow, we can see the corresponding thing. So the base color. Let's go back up a level to our Material Library. Go back out to the stage and hit properties. Now, if we look over into our scene graph tree, we can see we have the old Grumpy Man. And then we have our materials, right? Body. Right? So what we do now is to assign the material. We have two ways to assign it. We can assign it inside of the Material Library, or we can drop down a assign material node, which is I'm gonna show you guys both. So right here where it says VOP, we're gonna take, where it says material path, we're gonna take our body material and drag it into material path, and we're gonna assign to geometry, right? So now we're gonna take our old Grumpy Man body, right, and drop it into the geometry path. All right. Another thing I want to do, since we used the SOP create, we're gonna just put like an underscore under there to take that one off. I don't like that one at the end, which is our shaders might disappear. So let's update that one. Right. So now we can see our shader, right? It's kind of glossy because we only got the diffuse in, which is we can manipulate the glossy by dropping in the roughness and the normals and stuff like that, right? So now we can see our shaders. Let's dive back into the Material Library. We got the body. So let's duplicate that a couple more times, the image. So let's bring in our glossiness. Let's bring in our normal. Let's bring in our spec. Right? Just plug our glossiness into the diffuse roughness, right? And we see we automatically got a little something changed. Let's see. Let's drag our, what is this, the normal? With the normal, it's something a little different. So we're gonna drop down the geometry tab. And we're gonna drop down a MTXL normal. No, not normal, normal map. MTXL normal map, right? And we're gonna take N for the normal and plug it into the normal out, all right? These look a little crazy because we gotta specify how much we want it to go. So the scale is at 1 right now. We're gonna do 0.01. Oh, mistake. 0.01. All right. 0.01. Let's play with it. Play with it a little. instead of the N, we're gonna plug it into the normal. We'll say normal. All right. So we get this. Just put our normal back at 1. All right. Just play around with the settings till you get a look that you like. We're gonna add just a little normal to it. Don't worry about the funny looks. We're gonna fix all of that. Let's go to object. All right. Keep it like that. And we're gonna take our spec. We're gonna load that into the spec color. All right. So we got this. So we got our shader all loaded in. All right. Just go back out to our stage. And bam, if we uncheck the assign material and we drop down a assign material node, we also get the same kind of path, and we can just drop our body and our material path. And that's a separate way to assign materials, right? So we have those 2 ways, right? And now I'm gonna show you guys the quick surface material way, right? Now, with the quick surface material, you can pull up our base, right? We got our base properties. And again, we're gonna change our path. So let's do assets /char /old grumpy man. And boom, we get our materials, right? Then we get quick surface material. Let's rename that to body. We get body in there, right? If on the color map, if we hit set or create, we get this right here, right? We can reference and go to our, find our color. So let's go to the diffuse, right? We have our diffuse. If we take our body material and we kind of drag it and drop it onto the old grumpy man rig, we get a little drop actions, and we can set as material on body, right? All right, and what we should get is the materials, but we're not getting none. The reason why is right here was the color. I think it should be black. Let's make sure. Make sure we selecting the right change. Okay. Now if we go to our okay. Now if we switch to our right here at the top of our viewport, right? The thing with the quick surface material, sometimes it don't show like a preview of the color maps. We'll show a preview of the default color that you have on the material when you're using the Houdini VK before you actually turn on the render, right? So if I change this color to like blue, purple, whatever, this will be the base color of it, right? But if I switch to the Houdini Chroma, you can see that I see my texture, but I also have just like yellow glow from the properties that was on it. And you always want to keep this at white, right? And we just move on down the line, go to our spec, do the same thing. So let's get our spec in. I've got our spec. Let's go down to our normals. Instead of geometry, we're gonna go to bump. We're gonna do normal. We're gonna set create and select our normal map. Right? We got our normals. And there we go, right? When we switch back to Houdini VK, we should see the preview now because of how we put in all of the maps, and now it shows the preview of the final thing. So this is how you do materials, right? So if we switch back over to our assign materials and go to Karma XP, you can see our shader. That's how you assign the materials. All right. So you got the materials, right?